Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's Daily Dose of Mind Stuff. We're on day 72 of 100. Crazy to think that that's I've been going live for 72 days, but we're almost at 100. So, just finished up with a live training that I did in the private Facebook group that you were all invited to. The banners above on my groups, whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, my Facebook page, all had the information to invite. There's still time. The replay is going to be in that group for 24 hours. It was an absolute phenomenal training on there. If you want to check it out, you can go to the Facebook group. Here's the address down there, scrolling along this way. One of those ways. Go on, join that group. We'll do that, and you can have access for that replay. It was super good. I had notes, and I'd seen it before, and I took notes again. I will be doing stuff like this more often. But one of the ideas that I got from that group, Bob was talking about being productive and how our paradigm, which our paradigm is a multitude of habits. If you're new to watching this, paradigm is a multitude of habits. It controls our behavior, our habits. It controls the way we think. It has control basically over a habitual control over everything. And almost all of our behavior is habitual. And one of the things was that, our time and what we use, our time, our productivity. So if we just changed one thing on there in our productivity, we changed how productive we are, how many different areas of our life that would have a positive effect on. And then he told a story about when he was with Earl Nightingale for breakfast. He said that they were doing a speaking engagement. Earl asked him to go to breakfast. And Bob says, he always jumped at the chance when he had a chance to sit down with Earl and pick his brain. And he said he always had a list of questions written down ready to ask him. And he said that on this breakfast, he asked Earl, he said, Earl, how did you master time management? Because he said Earl always got so much done. He said he got more done in a week than most people would get done in a year. So he asked him, how did you master time management? And he said he could remember the fork hitting the plate, and Earl was looking down at his food, and he kind of looked up and smirked and chuckled and said, I'd never mastered time. Time can't be managed. He said, I merely manage activities. And then he pulled out a piece of paper that was folded 3 times. And he said, I merely write down a list of goal achieving things that I need to do the following day. And then each day I work at those things until they're done and I cross them off. And Bob said, ever since then, he carried that piece of paper. And that story comes from, or that method comes from a man named Ivy Lee. Now, back in 1918, Ivy Lee was an efficiency expert. And he went to see this gentleman who was later found out was Charles Schwab. This is not the banking Schwab, but this is the steel industry Charles Schwab that worked with Andrew Carnegie. And he went in there and they were looking to get their people more productive because Schwab said that his people already knew how to do and were doing the best job they could do. But if we could make them more productive, I'll give you whatever you want within reason. And so Ivy Lee gave him an idea and told him to pull out a piece of paper and on that paper, write down the 5 most important things that need to be done the next day. So he said that Schwab took out the paper and took 3 or 4 minutes, wrote down those things. And then Ivy Lee said, now what I want you to do is number those in the order of importance to you. And so again, he took 3, 4 minutes, whatever, organized those. And he said, now I want you to put that piece of paper in your pocket. Tomorrow morning, when you get to work, pull that piece of paper out and start working on number 1. Don't look at 2, 3, 4. Don't give any energy to those other ones. Only focus on 1 until it's completed. Now, if something happens that causes you can't finish it, circumstance, whatever, then you can move on to the next one. But you work on that one until it's done. And when that's done, you cross it out. And then at the end of the day, you throw away the piece of paper and you start with a new one. And those things that weren't finished, move on to the next day. And he says that if you weren't using this method or some other methods, you probably wouldn't get anything done because you'd be all over the place. This way, you'll get far more done just by focusing on those things. And he said, try it out for as long as you like. And when you finish, try it out, have your people try it out, and then send me a check for whatever you think that the idea is worth. So the story goes that after trying it out for some time, Ivy Lee got a check for $25,000 and a note saying that it was the most profitable idea from a business standpoint that Schwab had ever received. And it was also said that that idea and that method took them from being a little known steel company to the largest in the world. The idea of just putting things in their natural order and getting them done one at a time and putting our focus on one thing. So if you have any problems with getting things done, try that idea. I took that idea and I put it in, if I can grab it, I put it in this is my Action Income Producing Activities book. And on here I have 4, 14, and 7. Those come from the Science of Getting Rich. 4 being Think Truth Regardless of Appearances. That's the chapter that talks on that. 14 is The Impression of Increase, leaving everyone that you come in contact with the impression of increase. And then 7 being the chapter on gratitude. Those things I do in this book. And it took me a while, I don't know why, because when I thought back of when I was super productive was back to a time when I worked in film. When I was in my 20s, I was an assistant director. And that's why we have the Action clapboard, the slate board. And I was super productive and super organized. And when I think back at what I was doing, my day was always planned out the day before. And back then, I carried a little notepad. And this notepad was in my back pocket. And as things came to me, I would open the notepad and write it. And I had one of the little golf pencils you get it when you play golf, those little tiny pencils. I had that pushed inside here. I was super productive because that's what I was doing. I had my day planned out. And as new things came, I would put them in there. And then I would have to put them in the order of importance because when you're working in film, it's very fast paced. A lot of things happen. A lot of things change, and you have to be able to flip things on the fly. Super productive. And I don't know why I did not carry that habit over after leaving that industry and moving into other industries. But that's something that I picked up and I use that now. And every night I write down those things, and I may start carrying one with me and transfer those things. But right now, putting them on there and looking at them in the morning works fantastic. And then as I get it done, I cross them out. Now, those things are not, it's not a to-do list. It's not, do the laundry, go shopping, clean the kitchen. Those are income producing activities, IPAs, goal striving activities. So those are things that are going to move you in the direction of your goal or your wants or whatever it is that you want to do and be. One other thing that I wanted to bring up, $25,000 idea. That was 1918. Let's put it and see what that idea is worth in today's buying power. That would be a check for $500,000 for one idea, taking things and putting them in their natural order and working them till completion. So put the $500,000 idea to the test and put it into your daily habits. And I guarantee you are going to see your results skyrocket. So that's all the time I'm going to take today. If you got value out of this, share, like, subscribe. I will see you guys tomorrow with day 73. Like always, you guys Have a wonderful day. This is Ed Reiner. Peace. God bless.